Hey, hey, hey. Welcome everybody. It's officially my my first live with this particular episode that I'm doing. All right, so who am I? I don't know. Oh, I don't know who I am. Do you know who I am? Guys, I am it's not hidden. I won't say hidden. Been pretty open with a lot of stuff that I do. I'm just going to shut a few apps down because I'm a bit laggy at the moment and I don't know, but I'm just going to shut a few things down because so what's today's episode all about? I mean, I've given you some pretty cool imagery, wet flash, wet fish slaps. Get it right, Louise. And what's that all about anyway? Well, that's the title of my playlist, because it's Wet Fish Slaps and Stardust, because it's about my spiritual journey. It's about who I am. A lot of people have said, who are you, Louise? And, you channel, but, what's your backstory? What's your history? When did you wake up? When did you become conscious of consciousness? When, why aren't you a vegetarian? Why do you drink alcohol? Why do you eat meat? Why do you do this? And you're supposed to be a spiritual teacher, blah, blah, blah. And to be quite honest, I just never really respond to those sorts of things because I think they're silly. But then that's my opinion. That's who I am. And I am just going to put what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to try and use two screens here. I got my little phone, which is on silent. It's on silent, but I want to try and get it so that I can see any comments and all the rest of it on here. So yeah, but I might see some comments that are on here anyway. Waffle. Don't you find that it's annoying when people waffle? I'm rambling. It's what I call rambling. So let's just go. Here we go. If any of you are interested, by the way, and I will probably say this numerous times through these different episodes, I'll probably put links in the playlist, etc. I'm currently on school. I have Heather and I have a It Is Cosmic School community. And basically what that means is that we put up a lot of stuff there. It's where we have our VIP group, which is the spiritual support group, where obviously I bring in channeling every second Tuesday. On the alternative Tuesdays, we have a discussion group there. Like today, we had a fantastic group. There was a bit of a meditation that came through. It was really, really neat. And that's our sort of, that's a paid group. You paid to get on there, but you can go through school and find out all about that. Anyway, all I'm just going to say is I hope that you're able to join us there. There's a free tier, and then there's a paid tier, so you can just come and have a squiz and have a visit. So anyway, enough of that. Who am I? Well, my name's Louise. I was born in 1968 in a little country in Africa, not South Africa, but Africa, called Rhodesia. Now, Rhodesia doesn't exist anymore. In fact, I've often said to people, I've lived in 3 countries, but I haven't moved house once. Not once. My address has stayed the same, but I've moved 3 countries. Or I've lived in 3 countries, I should say. And they kind of look at me and they'll go, what? And it's kind of, it's just my sense of humor. But I was born in Rhodesia. Then I lived in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, because of the changeover of the government. And then there was Zimbabwe. Okay, so to me, it's all interchangeable. It is one nation, one country. The people there are beautiful, beautiful people. I believe that any Rhodesian, Zimbabwean, Rhodesian, or Zimbabwean, whatever you want to call yourself, ultimately has the heartbeat of Africa in them. And I find that most of the sort of people that come from Africa, whether you're black, white, pink, multicolored, whatever, have a resonance in them that just speaks volumes. It is a deep awareness of culture. It's and when I say culture, I'm not talking of a particular man-made culture. It's a spiritual culture. There's something spiritual about Africa, about Southern Africa, because I've traveled all around there. And I've always found very, very spiritual people. And we're not talking woo-woo and organized religion. We're just talking that there's an earthly, grounded, spiritual aspect of people that live in Africa. So that's where I come from. I come from a little country called Zimbabwe, or Rhodesia. And I was born in 1968, and that's all you're going to get out of me. So you know how old I am now, but you don't know what month and what day I was born, unless you're a very, very close friend and family. So anyway, why am I going back there? Well, because my journey of spiritual awareness began back in that time, back in the days when I was in Rhodesia. And basically, I think I was about four or five. When I look back on it now, I realized that this was my awareness. This was my introduction to energetic connection and to ascended masters. And now you might think that that's really weird, but it's not really, because when I look at what is going on in my life now, and I listen to people, they all have stories about when they first woke up, when an experience happened, and sometimes it's traumatic, sometimes it's not, but they all meet with their energy guides. They all meet with an energy that wakes them up, etc., etc. And sometimes, a lot of the time, it's they either have an awareness of something pre-teens, okay, so the single-digit years, or something happens in the turnover of the to the double-digit years, and they're sort of like teen years, and then it kind of mellows out, and then they suddenly have another big aha wake up in their sort of late 20s, early 30s, okay? Or with some women, it's when their children are born or something like that, but there's these moments in time. And I always used to think, well, my moment in time was 2008. And that's where I've related it to, and that's where I had some energy working. And I'm going to get into that story a little bit later. So this is my storytelling corner. But in my storytelling corner, I'm going to be going into quite a bit of depth about different things. So, as I say, I was about 4 or 5, and we lived in a suburb called Belvedere in Salisbury, now Harare. And Belvedere is still there. My house is no longer there, though. It got ripped down when we sold it after my mother died. But it's still, Belvedere is there, and Mull Road is still there. Mull. That's right. I'm giving you a lot of information here, but not all the important stuff. Anyway, so there I am playing in the backyard. And I always remember my mother used to say to me that often she'd stand at the kitchen bench and she would be making bread or cooking dinner or getting something ready for us, and she would look out on the backyard, and she would see me in the sandpit, and my sister would be somewhere else, my brother would be somewhere else, but I'd be in the backyard in the sandpit. No, my brother wasn't born yet. My brother wasn't born. He was born when I was 4.5, nearly 5 years old. So it was just me and my sister at that time. Anyway, she said that sometimes she would notice me, and I would be sort of like playing with my dinky cars. I'm in the sand, and I'm building up my little towns, and I'm having a ball. And then all of a sudden, she said I would kind of freeze. I'd be like, like I'm handing something to somebody that isn't there. And my mom said I would be sitting there like I'll be talking, having a conversation with someone that's not there. And she put it down to imaginary friends. However, in my reality, where I was at, I was actually talking to children that I believed their mums were in my house talking to my mum, because nobody would come into another person's yard especially children, unless they were invited or we knew about it and their parents had said, yep, that's cool, we're there. And oh, by the way, in any of this sort of thing, if you wanted to ask me a question, slap it in the chat, ask me a question, keep it clean. Keep it relevant. But yeah, but what would happen is I would see these. There was a young girl, a little girl, and two little boys, and the one that really held my attention was a sandy haired colored boy, and he would often say, "Hi, and he would give his name, and I would never be able to pronounce it. I was, yeah, I was like, and I said, "Oh, I can't speak your name," and he said, "That's okay. What do you want to call me?" And because look, this is 4 or 5 year old logic. Okay, I'm in the sandpit. I look at him. He's got sand colored hair. I go, "You're Sandy." All right, so that's it. And the other one I always called Toomey, because he was slightly Indian in color, and presentation. I didn't know the difference between what was and what wasn't. I mean, I was a kid, and these kids wanted to play with me. And the little girl had long, beautiful black hair, really, really shiny black hair, always tied at the back in like a little bun. And she was so dainty. She was like, "Oh, I'll just sit here and I'll just watch." And I'm like, "No, no, come play with the dinky cars." I didn't understand dainty girls. I was like, "Nah, just come and get dirty with me." But she would just watch us, almost like she was protective over what was happening. And anyway, one that I used to really connect with. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of playing, and every now and then they would say, "Let's go," and I go, "Oh, oh, where are we going?" Thinking that their parents are going to come out, pick us up, and take us somewhere. Right? Again, I'm 4 years old, guys. I'm thinking this is how 4 year olds think, and they're going, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We're gonna go and see things." And the next minute, I'm gone. The group of us. We're floating. We've gone somewhere. Now, I'm going to relate a couple of these experiences to you because to me they're very, very real, and it is definitely a how can I put this? It's an awareness of mine that I just want to think how to put this, not to make it so out there that it doesn't make sense, but yeah, one of my first experiences with Sandy and Toomey and this beautiful girl, and I don't think I was actually ever introduced to her, but I know who she is now. And no, it's not me. But I'll get to that. So anyway, the first time we did this, I remembered that what happened was Sandy took my hand and he said, "Let's have some fun. Let's go fly." And of course, I'm like, "Oh, flying. Yeah, why not?" And of course, look, our imaginations as kids, we would just take off anywhere. And a lot of people have said to me, "I've got a very, very vivid imagination and I probably imagined all this." Well, I don't know, because I felt and I thought and I connected at a level of comprehension that a 4 year old doesn't connect and doesn't know. So there I am, Toomey on one hand, Sandy on the other hand, and the little girl is beside us. Just go. We're out of space, out of time, and we've just gone. And the next thing, I kind of open my eyes, and I'm on a ship, a spaceship. How did I know what a spaceship was? I've never. TV wasn't invented. Well, it was invented, but we didn't have a TV in our house when I was 4 years old. I'd never heard of space travel. I didn't know what a space rocket was. I mean, sure, I saw the space rockets in books, and the pointed little jaggedy things out here, and was going to the moon. Remember the story with the rocket and the moon, with it sticking in the eye of the moon. That was my perception of rockets. But this experience, I'm in this ship. I'm literally standing on what looks like a control area. There's levers, there's buttons, there's little screens, and I look down at my hands, and I've got like I want to say a clipboard, but it's not. It's more advanced than a clipboard. I suppose in today's terminology, I'd call it a tablet. All right. I'm 4 years old, guys, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm reading things, and I'm moving things along with my hand. I'm scrolling up and down. Then I'm somebody comes up and says, "Commander, we need to block," and they start talking to me, and I'm like going, "Fine, go and do that over there. Get so and so," and I'm starting to talk, and I suddenly, and in my mind, I'm like going, "Who am I?" The 4-year-old part of me is like going, "Oh my goodness," and then there's another part of me that is looking at this and going, "Yeah, this is real. This is real," and so I'm looking at this and I'm experiencing this, and I catch myself in a reflection, and I'm a full ass grown up. I'm not a kid. I'm grown up. I'm looking at it, and I'm like seeing like my parents. I'm seeing somebody that would remind me of my parents, adults, and I'm in charge. I get, and I look at Sandy and I go, "Sandy, what's going on? Why are we here? Who am I?" And they just smile and they go, "But this is you. You just forgot." And next minute, I'm back down in the sandpit and we're playing. And Sandy and Toomey and the little girl have disappeared. They're no longer there. And I run inside and I'm like full of excitement. And I'm telling my mom, I'm going, "This is what happened. Da 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 da." And I'm trying to explain it to her. And of course, I get "That's nice. Off you go now. Go play. Good imagination." Just like parents do. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing. I'm just saying that was my mom. Another time this happens, I'm in the sandpit again, and they come and they go, "Let's go." And now I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I want to go." So next minute, I'm on the back of a horse. I'm bareback on a horse, and I'm hightailing it. Something's chasing us, and I remember looking down at my, like I'm looking to grab hold of something. Again, I'm in what I would call an adult body, probably maybe teenager, maybe 20s, I don't know. On the shoulder of the horse that I'm riding, there is this handprint, like a white handprint on the shoulder, and there's nothing, no bridle, no nothing, no saddle that I would expect for to be on a horse, and my hand's just holding the mane, but I'm riding it. And I'm kind of looking back to see what's chasing us and what we're running away from. And the next minute, I feel something enter the back of me and come out the front of me. And I remember feeling the pain. I remember feeling the tearing, searing, burning, agonizing pain of that happening, and not being able to compute it, not being able to comprehend what was happening to me. And I remember screaming out so loud about that. When that happened, I could smell like burning something, or something that was a strange smell I'd never ever had before, or never smelt before. And later in life, I came to realize that was the smell of gunpowder. Okay. And so I reckon I was in a sort of like early sort of American sort of thing, or somewhere where I was being chased by somebody who shot me. And I never saw the person who shot me, so I don't know if it was a I don't know if it was a how do you put this? A cowboy, an Indian. I don't know. I just know somebody shot me. Again, I come back to my sandpit and I'm still sore there. I can feel it in my body. And I go into my mom and I'm like, "Mom, this is what's happening to me. This is what I experienced." And she says, "Oh, you just had a daydream. That's okay. You were just playing." Because I would play by myself all the time. So there's and I had experience after experience after experience. And this is one of my favorite experiences that I remember. I've got two more that I want to share with you because they're very real to me. And I believe that there are more of us out there that have these experiences and haven't shared them, haven't spoken about them because we've been convinced they're just our imagination. They're just part of growing up. We just had this experience. And, it's just, I feel that there is more to these experiences than what we're told as children. Obviously, as we grow up, we realize that they're encounters of a different type. They're energetic encounters. They're encounters with ascended masters. They're encounters with star seeds. They're encounters with energy beings that are trying to communicate to us, trying to show us that we're more than just this little meat suit that we happen to have been born into. I mean, one of my most favorite experiences was what I call my night sky experience. I was about 8 years old now. So I started off at 4, and I'm about 8 at this particular time. And I've been having these experiences on and off throughout my life. And it was bedtime for me. So it was probably around about 7:30. I was lying in bed. I shared the room with my sister, and we were busy talking. And because lights had just been turned out, and we were allowed about 5 minutes of chat after lights out, and then we had to go to sleep. And I remember a part of me remembers talking to my sister. We're having this conversation. The bigger part of me is I remember lying. My bed was lying along the window, so I could look outside and I could see the window, and I could see the night sky and everything like that. And I loved the stars. But the next minute, I'm somewhere kind of halfway out the window and floating up above the house, and I'm looking down and I'm seeing my house there. I'm seeing me on the bed down there, but I'm not stopping. I'm just going up, 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 up. And it's not cold. It's not freezing. I don't feel a temperature. I'm comfortable. I've got a beautiful, comfortable atmosphere around me. And I get up into this, I don't know how high I am, but I'm there. I don't want to call it space because it didn't feel like space. I was in this place where I was floating. I was lying down, but I was sitting, and I was very conscious as an 8-year-old. I'm looking at this and I'm like going, there's something awesome about this. There's something beautiful that's happening here. And I remember reaching out to touch the space around me, this night, the sky, and it felt like absolute velvet to me. And here's the wonderful thing for me was as I drifted my hand across it, I saw every color imaginable sparking through the fibers of that night sky. It was like, you get those materials that you can get today, and you wear them, and as they move on your body, they catch the light, and so they give off a different color. So it could be red, it could be blue. I've got my wife calling me. I'm just going to quickly answer her and and see if she can hear me. All right. Okay, I've answered her. Hey, sweetheart, you're online with me. You're online with me. I'm doing a YouTube podcast. You did. And I thought I'm not going to get flustered by it. I'm going to share the fact that you're on with me. Well, I'm not sure how you see. Obviously, I had a screen. I'm sure there's people out there. But you know what? I'm just telling people who don't know me. Always ask a question about who I am, where I come from, what's my past, history, and the cosmos of my sample. And I'm telling you all about sample experiences. For episode 1. So I'm going to do done. I love your hat. Can I give you go back in about another 5 minutes? All right. pretend it didn't happen. Or we can acknowledge what's going on. And that's what I was talking about in the night sky experience. Because I'm locked away. I mean, I'm up there in the sky. I'm looking for the stars. I'm looking for the stars. I'm looking for the moon. This is nighttime. I know it's nighttime. I was on my bed. If I look down, I can still see my bed down there. I can see it's nighttime. But I'm looking around me, and I don't see the twinkle, twinkle little stars around me. What I'm seeing are these beautiful orbs of almost what I understand now to be plasma. They felt like, to me at the time, though, they looked like water. They looked like pools or balls of fluid, thick water, and they shimmered. And in the shimmering, there was this, again, there was light. There was, so here they are, just not even in the sky or in black velvet, but they're floating around it, bouncing off it even. And one of the things that has always struck me on that night is I was looking for the moon, because I had grown up looking at the man in the moon, the rabbit in the moon, and I wanted to see. I thought, oh, where's the moon? I want to see the man in the moon or the rabbit in the moon. I had a focus, I had a purpose. If I'm up here, I want to see it. But there was no moon. It didn't matter where I went, where I floated to. I floated so far that, and this is what I believe, I floated so far, I traveled so far in the night sky, playing in the velvet material of the night sky with the colors that would spark off. You know, you push it this way, you get all the colors, you bring it back this way, it goes back to black. The beautiful orbs of light that we refer to as stars. Didn't matter where I went, no moon. And I'm like, where's the moon? And I did my usual, I looked down to see my landmark, my house. My house was not there. I don't know where I was. That gave me a fright. Because now my mind kicked in. My mind kicked in. Like, what's going on? What's happening? And I got frightened. And as soon as that fear came in, I felt my heart constrict, my breath didn't catch, and I fell so far, so hard, and I landed on my bed, and I made such a noise coming back again that my sister in the same room said to me, shh, Dad will come through. Not that we scared like that, but we have rules. Chat for 5 minutes, knock the lights out, and then quiet. And obviously just got over the 5-minute chat mark because she was still wide awake and she heard me fall back into my body, back into my bed. I experienced something that wasn't a hallucination. It wasn't a weird ET abduction. This was me experiencing something energetic. And so, what I wanted to the reason why I'm sort of like bringing in these experiences is because I think, myself, personally, I believe that we have more of us out there who don't speak about this, who don't share their experiences because they're nervous. They don't know how to express it because when they might have tried to experience it or experienced it as a child, like me, they were patted on the head, we grew up, so nice, you've got such a good imagination, good play. And, you know, it was shrugged off. But in reality, what was happening to me, and I believe to so many of you out there, is that you experienced something beautiful. You experienced energy connecting with you to teach you, to show you, to help you be something that you are becoming or have become, or to remind you of the fact that you're here in a meat suit. But you are energy. You're more than just the conscious mind. You are cosmic. You are spirit. Your life, your breath, your energy. why I'm sharing my life in a storytelling way. I'm hopefully going to get more, it's going to get better telling my stories. But I feel it's important to honor these parts of our journey, because they brought me to a place where I began to recognize there was something watching me. I remember another time, this is just popped into my head. See, when we start talking about these things, this is when the memory starts to kick back in and remind us. I think again, I was probably around about 9 10, because my dad was still alive. Dad died when I was 11. Stuff happened after that, and again, that's another episode. But I remember that Sunday night, I got in a very religious time. Okay, so we've been to Sunday school on the Sunday just before this happened, and we heard the story about was it Elijah or Elisha, something like that, where he heard his name being called 3 times. And he went to his master and said, "Yes, I'm here." Okay, and the master said, or his teacher said, "It wasn't me, go back to bed." And then he came back the second time, "Oh, no, same story, I heard you call me." "No, it wasn't me, go back to bed." Third time, the teacher turned around and said, "Look, it's not me, so it's not me. Go and find out. Go ask who it is. Maybe it's God speaking to you." And so the student, whose name he called again, "Anyway, I'm here, I'm ready. Who are you? What do you want?" And that's how this journey started, and the story went on and on. But as I said, I just had that experience. And I played outside. Again, played outside. Beautiful day, summer's day, blue sky, absolutely massively blue sky, a couple of big clouds, big clouds flying around the place. I used to call them all clouds. And by the way, no chemtrails, absolutely none in the sky. So yeah, just putting that out there. So this would have been around about the 70s, mid-70s. Anyway, I ran in. I heard my name so clear. Sounded like my dad. I went to my dad. I said, "Daddy, did you call me?" "No, I didn't call you." "What?" "No, I didn't. Go and see if your mother called you." But it wasn't me. So I wasn't in trouble. It was just, somebody just told me that there's something wrong with the sound. Okay, that's really weird. No. Oh my goodness. I hope I haven't been talking and not having the sound for 30 minutes. um, so anyway, there I am in the backyard, and go to my dad. No, he didn't call me. Ran inside to my mom. No, she didn't call me. So I went back outside. I heard my name being called again. I wonder if it's my big sister. So I ran inside where she was reading a book. I said, "Did you call me?" I obviously just I didn't call you. Big sisters alike. And so I went back outside, and I remember crossing my arms like this. I had this kind of face on me, like, "I know you're there. So speak to me. I know you're there, so speak to me. What do you want? I'm ready." I remember putting my hands on my head. "I'm ready. What do you want?" And never heard my name called again. Again, my imagination, right? So let's look at this. 4 years old, 4 5 years old. In the sand pit playing around, and I have these experiences where I go, and I have these out of body experiences. My mom's watching me from the kitchen, looking out on the backyard, and she can see me in the sand pit. It's like kind of still, very, very still, but I'm talking to someone that's not there. So in her mind, I'm having an imaginary friend conversation, but I'm actually, and she says it's like, I'm still for like, not just a minute or two. I'm there for, I'm still for like 5 6-7 minutes. Now, if anybody knows me, I can't stay still that long. Not even now as it is in my 50s. I've got to be, I'm fidgety, I'm always fidgety. So Minnie's still like that. She's watching me go, If she hadn't been seeing the mouth going, she would have like, something like that. So, anyway, so I have all of these experiences. 8 years old, I traveled to the night sky. I investigate the skies on the moon. The stars don't look like little twinkle twinkle stars. It's a bit tall. They're these balls of plasma. That's what I understand it to be now. But to me, they're like thick, gooey water that sparkle. They had colour and they were blues and yellows and greens. It's all in the same water wall. And some were far away. I couldn't get to them. Some were close to me. But no matter where I went in the space to place, there was no moon. Couldn't find it anywhere. And what this gets to me is I had all these experiences as a child where I experienced being an adult beyond my years, knowing things beyond my years that I only really learned or really remembered as an adult when I started studying different things and asking questions. So my question is, what was going on for me there? Now I know I was experiencing stuff, and in the energy I was waking up, I was being drawn by the divine creator to become something that I wasn't fully aware of, that I was stepping into. And I know that there are many of you out there that have similar experiences. But because you've been told with your imagination, imaginary friends, don't be silly, you can't push them back. But I'm inviting you to revisit them, to go back into that and ask your higher self, ask your guides, ask people that you trust, what do you think? Talk about it. Let it become your reality. Because I believe there are keys locked inside of us, waiting to be unlocked, to unlock other doors. Because you see, this, I believe, is the stepping stones of my journey into the spiritual realm. And because of things that happened in my life, I navigated the spiritual realm in a very loopy, upside down, very messy way. And I will share more of that. Because you see, to me, spirituality is messy, and it's fun, and at times you get dirty, and there's other times where it's black and white. But it's never static. It's never just that. It's always something happening. So I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear what you feel, if this is experiences that you've had. And put some comments down. Talk to me. Ask me questions. And I will see you same time next week with the next episode. It's been great talking to you. And as I say, I'll probably get better at talking and relating to you. But don't let somebody tell you that your imagination drives what you feel is a spiritual experience. Your imagination is important. And it is so full of power because it can take you out of the mundane, out of the material, and into the reality of the real world, which is the world of creativity, the world of manifestation. And that's where a lot of us experienced a lot of things. But we were maybe too young to comprehend what we were being shown. Because remember, spirit doesn't look at our outward body and go, oh, hang on, they're only 4 years old. We have to wait till they grow up. No, they see the spirit of us. And that spirit is mature. That spirit is as ancient as ancient. Why? Because it's been always here. Not just your soul, but your spirit. So, come back for next week, and we'll continue on. Bye-bye. Been great having you. I'm going to eat now. Bye.